Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reasoning. Welcome back to the Anderson's family. If you guys are new here, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for coming back. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our channel, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Smash a like on this video and definitely leave. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Canada that they did not warn us about. The thing we learned about Canada after moving to Canada, and quite frankly, some of the things that really took us for a roller coaster ride and really gave us a shocker as we tried to integrate into a Canadian society. So if you guys are thinking of moving to Canada, or you have recently moved to Canada, you're going to want to stick around for the duration of this video, because we're going to be diving into some of the issues and some of the real life circumstances that you will face as a newcomer in Canada. With that being said, quick introduction. My name is Dems. I'm a Jamaican who migrated to Canada as an international student five and a half years ago, coming up on 6 years now. Came as an international student to the beautiful province of Alberta, and I've called it home since. Now, let's talk about some of the things that they did not warn us about that Canada will teach you as you transition into the new society. Now, the first thing that I was not warned about is loneliness. Now, Canada is a country where everyone is fast-paced and everyone really tends to mind their own business. So you might be living in an apartment, living in a neighborhood or a community, and you don't know your neighbor. Your neighbor don't usually is not as friendly as other countries like in Jamaica and many other countries. So you might be in a situation where you hardly see your neighbor, or you guys probably just exchange few words or no words at all. At first that was an adjustment for me, and if you're here by yourself, it's very easy to become a bit isolated. They did not warn us about that part. That part we had to learn after moving and trying to integrate. And the thing is, like, we are typically a friendly people, so when we see persons, we try to say good morning, good afternoon, good night, random strangers. And at first we used to realize that we're getting kind of like a cold response, and then we figured it out. It's not that people are trying to be rude, but it's just not the born Canadian or persons who have lived in Canada for a long time. It's not really the culture. So it's not really the culture to be as friendly in terms of as friendly as other countries. Let's put it that way. And that kind of creates a space for a lot of isolation in newcomers and a feeling of loneliness, especially if you're here by yourself without family members or friends. It's a eye-opening experience personally for me and my family to know that Canada can be a very, very lonely place, because especially we have left our family and friends in a total different country, coming to a new country and then trying to integrate and then really start feeling the effects of loneliness. The other thing that they did not warn us about is the fact that Canada will humble you. If it is that you have migrated to Canada and you are in a decent position in your home country and you are living the life, living a vida loca, going about your business, achieving things, let me tell you this. As a new immigrant in Canada, Canada will humble you. Canada will teach you that, listen, you are just someone else. Right? Many different reasons. One of the biggest ways that Canada will humble a newcomer is, more often times than not, a newcomer will have to start over. So starting over in terms of getting a lower scale job, taking the bus again, even if you've been driving for years in your home country, oftentimes living in a basement apartment, 1-bedroom suite, 1-bedroom flat, stuff like that. So even though you have established yourself in your home country, coming to Canada, it will definitely teach you some form of humility. And that is a part that I think they don't warn us about enough. And I'm telling you guys that be prepared. Be prepared. It's all about looking at the end goal, right? So it's taking 2 steps backward to go 10 steps forward. And while you're in your 2 steps backwards, embrace it. But it will teach you some form of humility. There are so many newcomers who come here and doing a low income job, having their bills to pay, and they realize that they're living from paycheck to paycheck, and because of that, they become very depressed. They become very disappointed that Canada is not the country that they thought it was gonna be in the inception. A lot of times we come with unrealistic expectation that as soon as we land, our lives are gonna be transformed and everything is gonna be rosy immediately. But in truth and in fact, it is a work in progress. And I wish I knew that when I just moved to Canada, because I would have avoided a lot of the outbreaks that I had in my earlier years and the disappointment. And there are times when I felt like I made a mistake moving to Canada throughout those earlier years because of all the hardship and just the transition period. It was very difficult. So because of that, a lot of persons end up becoming depressed again and really and truly fall into a state of humbleness. The other thing that they did not teach us about Canada, or did not warn us about Canada, is how expensive Canada is. Now, let me tell you guys something. We hear it all the time, Canada is expensive. But until you actually get here, you really start to understand how expensive this country really is. Now, the cost of living sometimes gets overwhelming, and a lot of persons end up falling into the trap of working 2-3 jobs just trying to survive, right? Now, cost of living can be very expensive in Canada, and I don't think they warn us about that enough. And it's to adjust to the pace of the society in terms of from a cost of living standpoint. It's sometimes become overwhelming for a lot of newcomers, and because of that, a lot of persons end up becoming depressed and stressed out again because they grossly underestimate how expensive this country really is. Now, we think that because it's a first world country, because it's beside the US, everything is relatively cheap, but things are pretty expensive. But what I will say though is that there are parts in Canada where things are a little bit cheaper than other parts. So if you're looking from a cost of living standpoint, then you can probably find somewhere that's not as expensive as the bigger places, as some other places in Canada, right? Now let's talk about gratitude. Now, I learned a lot of gratitude after moving to Canada. And this is because of the amount of humility that we had to go through, the amount of tests, trials, tribulations that when we just migrated that we had to overcome. It caused us to fall into a state of constant gratitude, attitude of gratitude. So now every time we have a success in terms of either an accomplishment or either any small success, we actually value it. And for most newcomers, it's the same. Because when you go through the trials and tribulations that come with migrating, when you start seeing the fruits of your labor and start reaping the reward, it actually now allows you to start feeling grateful and displaying an attitude of gratitude towards those successes. Because, as again, Canada will humble you. There are so many lessons that migrating to a new country will teach you, many of which I'm covering right now, but there are some that is unique to everybody. So some persons will experience different things than other person because migrating and immigration is different for everyone. It's like a fingerprint. Everyone has their own journey and their own experiences. And that is one of the things that they did not warn us about immigration. And immigration in the sense of the mental toll that the immigration process will have on your mind. And let me tell you guys this. I am probably downplaying it now, but this is one of the most stressful things for any new immigrant in Canada, unless you're coming as a permanent resident, right? If you're coming for any form of temporary residency status, international student, temporary foreign worker, LMIA, whatever the case may be, your immigration status is constantly on your mind, and it's really mentally drowning for many people in that status quo of being a temporary resident in Canada. And I don't think that they warned us enough about the mental strain that the immigration aspect will have on us. Once you land in Canada and you start experiencing the Canadian lifestyle, your biggest fear is really being out of status and going back to your home country. And it's a real fear that keeps you up at night, that allows you not even to be able to sleep in your bed comfortable. It's like you're constantly on edge, you're constantly looking, you're constantly exploring. And it's so mentally draining that a lot of persons go past depression and anxiety, and like they end up just totally isolated and stressed out and just remote and just feel like total failure and giving up. I don't think they warn us enough about that mental aspect of immigration. Immigration is more mental and physical. As a temporary resident, I can only remember it's just that feeling of temporary. Your life is on hold Your life is on pause. You can't push, you can't pull. You don't know what to do. You're in constant limbo until you get that permanent residency status. And I don't think they warn us enough about that mental part of migrating. And that's the purpose of this video as well, to let you guys know that, listen, migrating is a very big step, and you have to be prepared for all of the lessons that comes with it. There's no easy way to do this. A lot of times people connect with me and they ask me, hey Dems, what's the easiest way to migrate? Or hey, is it easy to get a job? Or something easy. And the truth of the matter is, there's no easy way. That's just the fact. That's just the truth. There's no easy way. There's no easy way to do it. You just have to go through the process. And the process itself is very stressful from an immigration point of view. It will teach you humility, it will teach you loneliness, and it will teach you who is really in your corner. Migrating to Canada will teach you who is your friends and who is your foe. Because the persons who are really there with you are the persons who are gonna stuck in the rut with you are your friends. A lot of times relationship break down because of migrating to Canada, and or probably to any other country in the world, but I'm talking about Canada specifically. Many relationships break down because of the stress that comes with migrating to Canada. A lot of persons migrate together, even like as a family, husband and wife, and they end up separated because of the amount of challenges and stress that they were not warned about, right? That they did not expect. And let me tell you guys this, don't let it catch you off guard. Be prepared. Proper planning prevent poor performance, right? So I just wanted to take this opportunity to share some of those facts with you guys, what migrating to Canada actually look like from a realistic point of view, from a realist perspective, right? If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and please guys, share this video so other persons can know what to expect when they migrate to Canada especially. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, see you guys in the next video. Peace.